Hi there, my name is Noel, and welcome to a little cooking show I'm calling How to Cook a Thing. With a lot of the weirdness going on with the world right now, I've noticed a lot of people in my neighborhood are getting things like dried beans and dry lentils and not really sure what to do with them. So I figured, hey, I can teach people how to cook these sort of things. So here we are, this little cooking show. First thing I want to start with is lentils, and I feel like people really sleep on lentils. The sort of thing you see in the top shelf of the bean aisle, you're not really sure what they're supposed to do. And dried beans are a hassle. So how much of a hassle can these weird little coin-shaped things be? And the reality is, not at all. They're super easy. They're a lot easier to do with than most dried beans. And they're very nutritious, very flavorful, and incredibly versatile. So let's start out with telling you a little bit about the types of lentils, because there's all sorts. Well, what looks like we have here are green lentils. Green lentils are probably the most common type of lentils you're going to find, along with brown lentils, they're cousins. These guys are hearty, very packed with protein. They take a little longer to cook, around 20 to 30 minutes, but they do keep their shape pretty well, so they're a great substitute for all sorts of things and excellent on their own. We're going to be working a lot with these, so get familiar. There's also red lentils, yellow lentils, black lentils, French black lentils. There's a lot of lentils we could go over, but we're going to be sticking with these ones for right now, and we'll circle back to those another time. Let's move on to prepping lentils. It's super easy. Trust me. First thing you do, once you've sorted out your lentils and the amount you need, you're going to want to pull them out and sift through them, looking for any discolored ones, any ones that are misshapen, or sometimes little tiny rocks. Those aren't fun to crunch into. That one's a little not great. Some of these are already split, not a big deal. If they're not whole, not a big deal. But I don't know if they're like really small, like this one is, or, very dark. Oops, come back here. You're not staying there. Or very dark like this one is. You might want to just pick those out. They might not cook very well, and they'll just sort of give you a bad, just one weird bite. Also, even more so, if it's a rock, not fun. Once you've given your lentils a sort, you're going to want to give them a rinse. We'll do this until the water runs clear, like just a couple minutes. Find another one don't want. Okay. Let those drain a little bit. And there you go. Your lentils are ready to use in whatever recipe you've got going. First thing I'm going to share with you guys is a very basic how to cook lentils recipe by themselves. I'm going to add a few things in to enhance the flavor a little bit and give you some suggestions for other things you might want to put in, but totally not necessary. The only things you really do need are lentils, salt, and water. Oh, and before I go too far along, I'm only cooking for 2 people, so I'm making a very small half-batch recipe. So if you're cooking for more, just double or triple it as you need. What we've got here is your basic lentils. We've got a half cup of lentils already rinsed and picked through, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a small bay leaf, technically a small clove of garlic, but the one I first picked out was very small. The second one I picked out was like, also very small. This is about the right size, but I just really like garlic, so I'm going whole hog and giving it extra garlic, but how many as much as you like, up to you. And a teaspoon of oil. Last but not least, though, is water. Now, when you're cooking lentils, you're going to generally want around 3 to 4 times as much water as you have lentils, but for this recipe, it's not super necessary. You just need enough water to cover the lentils and bring it to a boil, and then give it some space because you want to let it stew a little. I've already started this, going to the boil to save a little time, so let's add in our lentils. salt, our bay leaf, and our garlic. Give that a nice stir. And bring it up to a boil again. Once it's at a boil, we're going to want to let it cook for about 18 minutes, and then we're going to start testing the lentils to see when they're done. When your lentils are at a boil, you're going to want to adjust the heat down to keep them at a vigorous simmer. Nothing like if it boils too quickly, it'll overcook, it'll be mushy, not great. If it's under, it'll be crunchy and not good. So you just want to keep an eye on these. Make sure that they're at this little roiling simmer as much as you can the cooking time. So while I've added dried bay leaf and fresh garlic clove in here, there's all sorts of things you could add into this to give it a little extra oomph. You could have added garlic powder or onion powder to the water, help infuse it with some of those nice flavors. You could put in some paprika or oregano to add a little bit more of in the spicier, more savory direction. But it's really up to you. Flavor how you like it. Okay, these I'm going for about 16 minutes. So you want to scoop up a few, drain them, and be careful they're hot, but you do want to test them to see if they are done. They're getting close. Not quite there. If they're not quite tender, you're going to want to give them another 1 to 2 minutes. Check again. 1 to 2 minutes, check again, until they are as tender as you like. But don't overcook them because they'll get mushy and sort of fall apart, and that's not what we want. Okay, let's give them one last check. Yep. Nice and tender, not mushy. So, let's turn off that heat. And let's drain these lentils. Put the pot aside. Now, we're going to want to look for the bay leaf, because you don't want to eat that. That's no bueno. Oh, there she is. Let's get that out of there. And then, you're going to want to look for the garlic. You're going to want to return that to the pot. Let's see if I can find the last one there. Nope. Oh, there you are. Once these are in the pot, using whatever instrument you've got, you're going to want to smash them against the side wall. Get them nice and mixed up. Yeah. And then we're going to add the lentils back in. Add the oil. Maybe a shake or two of salt. You could also add in some other things like some of the flavors I mentioned earlier, but I'm just going to stick with salt right now. And then make sure you mix in the garlic you just mashed up. You want to clear some of it off the spoon since it got in the slots there. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, and we're good to go. Let's plate this. All right, let's divvy these up. No, I suppose. We're not plating really, we're bowling, aren't we? there you have it. Very simple lentil recipe. Let's give it a try. Yeah, this is good. This is great on a meal on its own if you're looking for something light, or you can always make this as a side to something else you're making. But this is, as you may have seen, very easy and very delicious, and you can do all sorts of stuff with it. So thank you for joining me on this first episode of How to Cook Thing, and we'll see you next time.